Hello and welcome. I've drawn the same subject nearly daily since April 2023. How did I cultivate an attitude to stay motivated and inspired? In this video, I will share with you how I created and stuck with this aspiration till this day. In this quote, the American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "Every artist was first an amateur." Let me introduce you to the subject of this art journey I am on. Meet the happy little pup, the longest art relationship I've had. She's an Australian Shepherd puppy. Her coat color is blue merle and she projects joy. It can be surprisingly easy for things like self-doubt, external influences and interactions, or lack thereof, to stop our momentum forward. I had to observe my past and think about what caused me to stop in those endeavors. Art is a very personal and emotion-invoking experience. Choosing to draw a joyful subject each day was a powerful mental counter to those negative thoughts. No matter how good or bad I perceived my art to be that day, I was always able to feel the joy from the happy little pup, leaving my inner light of happiness for art lit. Keep in mind how your art makes you feel and consider your past relationship with art when moving forward. Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. This was quoted from Samuel Johnson, the English author. Doesn't drawing the same thing all the time get boring? Mostly no, but a little bit yes. In the past, when I was inspired to create an art piece, upon completion, I often lacked inspiration or felt burnt out to start another piece. What should I do? Sometimes I would have too many ideas, I couldn't choose which one to pick. Drawing the same subject has several benefits. For one, I always have an anchor, a foundation to my art piece, a starting point, common ground. Choose an analogy that suits your narrative. Now, this is an art journey, meaning to me, I want to get better at my art, and I want to see the progress when I look back. Having the same subject to compare my progress to over time makes it that much easier to appreciate the journey. It's normal to see a peak followed by a plateau, even a slight decline on a graph of improvement over time. Working on a skill is an investment, and the return on the investment can fluctuate like the stock market. Sometimes you need time to really digest a new skill to grow further. Another benefit of drawing the same thing is that as I become more efficient at drawing the happy little pup, the more creative energy is left. That leftover creative power has led me to try new techniques, ideas, and left me with the energy to study and research things like color palettes. I may have learned one and tried a new technique without satisfaction initially. I'll leave that technique behind until, having enough energy and curiosity, I pick it up again, often to a more satisfying effect. Depending on the day, the amount of creativity I start with varies, and because I have kept my subject consistent, I just about always have at least that much energy. This leads me into another benefit. Any skill we aspire to learn requires practice, daily, ideally, with various session lengths. I've created my daily practice with the happy little pup. She's something I can draw at the drop of a hat now, without needing a reference or video to follow along to. To which those things can be another barrier to creativity for me. Lastly, on this point, there are so many ways to draw the subject, to play and experiment. If I can't think of something to draw with her, I can look up prompts to inspire that piece. With the happy little pup alone, what if I make her eyes bigger, smaller? What if I shade here and highlight there? Should her mouth be more open? What if I use this color today instead? And what if I used color pencils, paint, yarn, digital art to create her. One of the things I learned the hard way was that it doesn't pay to get discouraged. Keeping busy and making optimism a way of life can restore your faith in yourself. Lucille Ball, American comedian. More importantly to my success in this journey has been finding mentors with realistic and positive messages. YouTube has opened so many doors to uplifting one another. Learning what others' art journeys have been like took away the alienating feeling of being alone in this. I was not the only one feeling this way, and actually, it was a very normal experience. I found creators that were honest and transparent. This reinforced that I was on the right path and to keep going. Feeling up and down about my art was normal. That it took a long time to develop your art was normal. I had it in my head that results should happen fast. Learning it takes years, and really sitting and thinking about how long a week was, a month, a year, really changed my perspective and permitted me to be kind to myself. Hearing it's okay if not every piece is going to be great was freeing. Seeing all the different forms of successful art was liberating. There was no longer any reason my style of art wasn't good enough. It simply was what it was, and the people that enjoy it will eventually find it. Listening to YouTube creatives that cultivate channels focused on supporting and informing other creatives has created a weekly supply of inspiration and motivation. Without inspiration, the best powers of the mind remain dormant. There is a fuel in us which needs to be ignited with sparks. Johann Gottfried von Herder, German philosopher. Becoming financially literate has been an ongoing journey as well. When I found the resource that resonated with me in this journey, one of the things I noticed was that they always supplied a motivating quote on their Instagram story. These quotes had a powerful effect on my mood and perspective. Oftentimes, just reading one would turn my mood around for the better. I started incorporating them in my TikToks to 1, inspire myself, and 2, to inspire others. This daily powerful reinforcement has been an important part of staying motivated. The British Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said, "It is a mistake to look too far ahead. Only one link of the chain of destiny can be handled at a time." All of these things have been important in keeping my motivation, but this next element was very necessary for me. You may not need this to show up daily, but I sure did. I use platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and WordPress to create a schedule of accountability for myself. I set schedules that make me show up and give me deadlines to meet. These schedules will always be fluid as I try to keep a healthy balance and prevent burnout. For example, I started posting TikToks 7 days a week. This was too much, and changing to posting Monday through Friday instead has been the healthy balance for me at this time. I used to publish 4 YouTube videos a week. Now I publish twice a week, and I have aspirations in the future to reduce this further with the expectation of quality going up. I like working weeks ahead on YouTube and being at least a day ahead on TikTok. If I don't do this, I notice that anxiety will ramp up and I'm forcing content out. Having this space allows for more organic ideas to take fruit and more production time to create them. We are all motivated by a keen desire for praise, and the better a man is, the more he is inspired to glory. Cicero, Roman philosopher. Lastly, getting feedback on my art has been another part of keeping me going. I have a select group of people in my personal life I've shared with about my art journey, but other than that, I get the most feedback from strangers. Not so surprisingly, don't we all thrive on positive feedback? This keeps me excited to create another happy little pup art piece and content. While I remind myself to stay rooted in the steps of this journey, knowing strangers are enjoying my art has kept me excited for the next day when I will post a new art piece and get to see how many people it touched that day. I love that the people that like the happy little pup are growing organically. I actually started drawing the happy little pup late 2022, But it wasn't until April that I started incorporating the daily art practices. It's been 7 months of growth with more to follow. I hope this inspires you and helps you on your own journey.